I'm curious. It's gonna be goofy as fuck. I'm gonna enjoy it.
See you later.
Every time I review a game, I get comments like, delete your channel, this game is perfection. I will not accept any criticism of this game or any different opinions different from my own. So I got a good idea. Since gamers are so intelligent and know everything about video games, I'm gonna let gamers review Starfield, and I'll just be the referee. Introducing our first expert level gamer, a man who needs no introduction, the legendary YouTuber, Heel vs. Babyface.
Taking my headphones off, fuck that.
Oh shit, he's taking off the headphones.
So fucking boring!
Now, I'm thinking that this guy does not like Starfield. But why?
Fucking pronouns!
Oh, okay, I get it. In the character creation screen, it asks you what pronoun you want for your character. It's like 3 seconds of a game, which is like 700 hours long.
Fucking gender ambiguity!
Heel, how do you feel about my idea about letting gamers review Starfield?
Fuck off!
But the gamers...
We can't see past our own fucking reflection!
I just don't think Starfield is a good fit for this guy. He should really check out The Last of Us 2. No pronoun selection screen, no character creator at all, actually.
Every single solitary fucking thing!
Jesus. It's gotta be fake, right? Yeah, that's definitely fake for sure.
Alright, let's play Starfield now.
We also have an all-new animation system.
The character's facial expressions and lip syncing, which are done procedurally by a program, are incredibly accurate, and the character models look really great under the correct lighting.
The character models look really great under the correct lighting. Alright, let's dig into this a little. Echo the Fox calls it Starfield. Oh my god, that's gonna hit the score for some big damage. I am lowering the game score to 9 out of 10 after that one. That is gonna hurt sales. K-Dog loves Starfield, but even he admits the character models are ugly. Why are all these clips from a crouching standpoint? Like, maybe stand up straight? Oh, I see now. For the graphics to be good in this game, you have to stand up and have the character in the correct lighting. It's a skill issue, I see. Shinobi602 is very impressed by the detail of the environments, given the scope of the game. I can definitely get behind this. When you walk into a room in this game, there will be like 300 little items on the desk, and every one of the items has a detailed 3D model. And it's a good fit for this game because a lot of the gameplay is picking up items. On the other hand, a lot of the gameplay, and I mean a lot of the gameplay, is people talking to you. So the face animations are a key aspect of the game that should not be overlooked. Starfield is hands down the best gaming experience I have ever had. Nothing comes close, not even my beloved Skyrim or Witcher 3. Holy shit, this game is good. I am bumping that score back up to a 10 out of 10 flawless masterpiece. Xbox is back, baby. Bro's head is missing. Alright, take the points back. I haven't gotten any bugs this funny yet. My expectation for Starfield was that it would have like a cyberpunk level of glitches, but so far the glitches I've got is like enemy doing this. So this is the power of the boost pad.
Captain Solo, Protocol Indigo.
That's just
And
so annoying.
one of my challenges doesn't work. I just can never complete this challenge because it's bugged, which sucks because my guy always keeps running out of oxygen. Also,
Is it bugged? There's no way. That's not bugged. Huh?
Spaceship do this. What is that thing?
Hey, contact Charlie 3. That's you. Charlie 3. Nice to meet you.
No, it's not bugged.
Bye, Charlie.
Okay, I thought so. Because I definitely leveled that, and I'm like... And he leveled it too. He had 4 out of 20. Whatever.
You can enjoy something and still willingly admit where the flaws lie. I might have to edit this guy out because he cannot be a gamer. This is boilerplate Bethesda, and for most that's fine, but I think it's a little dated. Basically what he's saying is, Starfield doesn't look like Fallout 3, it doesn't sound like Fallout 3, but it plays like Fallout 3.
Starfield is our first new universe in over 25 years, but it's still a Bethesda RPG through and through, where you step into a new world and you get that feeling
Of feeling like Spider-Man.
They weren't lying. I mean, that what Todd said right there, that wasn't a lie. That wasn't a lie. That was truth.
How are people not enjoying this game? I am a 40-year-old gamer who has been playing since the 80s.
Holy shit.
I've never touched a Bethesda game before this one, as I am a super space nerd, and this game got me to purchase a Series X just to play it. Boy, do I feel justified with my purchase.
Oh boy.
Okay, so here we got a big-time Star fan, an older gentleman that has somehow never played a Bethesda game. I don't know where this dude was at during Xbox 360 times. I truly do not understand the negativity towards the game. The hardest...
This Dunkey videos. Out of all of his videos, this Dunkey video is not great. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting, like, you know, when he does like a Zelda video or something, or just like any game. I was expecting something like that. I was expecting something funny, but all good. We'll keep watching it. This is definitely a weak video for sure.
It's part of a game developer's job.
Let him cook, though. Let him cook. The video's not over. The video's not over. Let him cook.
And some of these players are either delusional or just entitled. The demands and expectations I'm seeing on just this subreddit alone are disturbing. People don't want to play games to have fun anymore. They just want to point out all the flaws and mistakes. I can definitely sympathize with this dude. Gamers take a lot for granted, and they're way more vocal about criticizing good games than celebrating them.
Fuck you!
On the other hand, what fucking Starfield planet do you come from? Microsoft is a $2.4 trillion corporation. The marketing behind this game was so insane that it got you to buy an Xbox Series X to play it. This game should be held to the absolute highest standard, especially by people who bought the Series X day one. Mad because you can't manually fly from one planet to another? Seriously? I can't wait to fast travel to where I'm going to see what's going on over there. Alright, that's it. Red flag. You're going in the penalty box. Fast travel is not a selling point. That is a convenience. I think a lot of people, myself included, saw the No Man's Sky mining in the trailer and just naturally assumed that the game would also feature spaceships like No Man's Sky, where you can get into the ship, fly around the planet, and then zoom into space and onto another planet seamlessly. This is not the case. In Starfield, the space travel is you go into a menu and watch a cutscene. You can fly a spaceship in space, but really it's there for combat and not traversal.
He just keeps smelling the sandwich. How is he doing? Oh, put it in his pocket for later.
Starfield players agree that its first dozen hours are its weakest. Okay, 12 hours in, and I love it. Yes, the classic 12 hours to get to the fun part type game. I feel like most good games aren't even 12 hours long. Not every game has to start with a bang, right? But 12 hours?
No one is born good or evil. Every day you take a step in one of those directions.
Starfield is way better with the mods. Real talk, Starfield is like a strong 6 out of 10. With mods, 7 out of 10. And there you have it, people. I am dropping the gamer score to a 6 out of 10 without mods. And always remember, you did this, not me.
In Starfield, we're pushing our cities and settlements further than we ever have before. It's all there, waiting for you. A slice of humanity's future.
So, ready to get out there?
No, no, no!
I feel like I'm literally getting lost in space. I can't get from A to B when leaving a planet without finding myself an hour later so far off my original objective having a blast. This game is top notch, I swear. For real. Exploration in this game is actually pretty fucking crazy. Yeah. I literally keep landing on planets and spending my entire night playing on that single planet. If you are still down for this old school Bethesda type game, and you will get lost in this. There are so many quest lines, so many planets, so many factions, just so much.
I have a feeling today's going to be a great day. Don't you agree?
Enemy boss that is 9 level above me. Has brain dead AI. Easy to cheese.
Badly for you.
And y'all call this the best game of the century. Starfield is a joke. God damn, this man just destroyed the entire Xbox kingdom. And for that, I'm gonna have to lower the score down to a paltry 5 out of 10. Breaking! Digital Foundry caught lying about Starfield. Uh-oh, Digital Foundry, somebody is going to jail!
The water also surprises me. There's no swimming in Starfield. It will break your fall if you jump from a great height, as I just did, but diving is forbidden. You just glide along the...
There is swimming! 11 out of 10. Xbox is back in business.
There is no world where Starfield's an 11 out of 10. And
Phil, no. Now I have to put it back to a 5 out of 10.
There isn't really a great solution or win for us. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true. We lost.
We lost. Okay, that was definitely one of his weaker videos. That wasn't that good. It seemed like he rushed it. He probably rushed this video because like Starfield was like the hype and it was like in, you know, to hate on it or in on to love it, or it doesn't matter, just to talk about it. So definitely, this is probably the worst Dunkey video I've seen. Granted, I haven't seen that many, but yeah, I don't know. I expected more, I guess. I expected more out of this video. I thought it was gonna be fun. I thought it was gonna be a fun video. It was like kind of fun, you know. It was like Starfield. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, that's a troll. I like Starfield, so I can't say that. I don't think you watch him that much. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think I've only just seen his bangers, you know, and I expected this to be a banger, and it was not. Watch Charlie's video. Oh, does he actually have one? Moist Critical Starfield. Oh, here we go. 2 days ago.
Good evening.
2 days ago. This is a long video, though. Let's just watch a little bit and see what he has to say.
Gamers, tonight I bring you a gift more valuable than gold. Another opinion on Starfield. I know there's already a million of them out there, but this one's unique. This one's not like the other reviews. This one's quirky and zany with a real nice personality and a big pair of honkers. It's
What
my
the
full
fuck
thought-
is this behind him? Is this an art like one of the what is this?
on Starfield so far. So it is going to be a review, but it's also kind of an admission of my weakness, because I'm just going to take the egg on my face here and say I don't think I'm finishing the game. Now, everyone says that the game gets good after 12 hours. I am just shy of that 12-hour mark, and I gotta be honest with you, sports fans, I can't envision a world where I hit that 12-hour mark and a switch flips on, and all of a sudden, it's exhilarating. It blows my hair back, and
I think people are misunderstanding the game gets good after 12 hours. The main story gets good after that long. That's it. The rest of the game's great. The main story, on the other hand, is useless. It's useless. The first 12 hours of it, you might as well delete it. Fucking makes no sense. But you could still play the rest of the game. I think that people are just misunderstanding what that... They're taking that one line, and they're fully misinterpreting the line.
it's a masterpiece. Like, I don't see that happening. But let's just assume that we are in a fantasy dimension where that is the case. That still doesn't excuse the first 12 hours being miserably paced and
I completed the main story in 12 hours. Yeah. I mean, if you just rush the main story, it's really short. But, yeah. I think that's what everyone's talking about. I think it's just stupid. You just go collect artifacts. That part of the main story is fucking... It literally just acts it out. It's dumb. It's pointless. It doesn't matter. But, yeah, 12 hours is not the length. I mean, if you don't like a game... Look, you should not... 12... I don't know why people are going off that information. Because if you're playing a game for 12 hours and it's bad, it's a bad fucking game. Like, if you don't like it after 12 hours, if you don't like it after 2 hours, you don't like it after 3 hours, it's a bad game for you. It's not for you. At all. It's just a game you do not like. Me, personally, in my first 2 to 6 hours of gameplay, I enjoyed the game, but I hated the main story. That was my take. My take was like, this game is good, but... the main story is awful. Then, fast forward 20 hours later, once I do some side stuff and I do the little bit of the main and I realize the main unlocks in this interesting way, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. I mean, it doesn't excuse how bad the beginning was, but okay, that's cool. But now I'm 100 hours in, so fuck me, right?
Excruciatingly uninteresting. Like, that is still a bad design. If you have to invest 12 hours before the game actually gets good. So I don't know if that claim is just cope or if that really is true, but even still, it doesn't negate my feelings on how this first just under 12 hours experience has been going. You shouldn't have to put that much time into a game before it makes it worth it.
I played 105 hours of Dead Space and hated it, but I kept playing hoping it would get better. It did not get better. What? You played 100 hours of a game you do not enjoy. You're a psycho. We should study you. That's fucking crazy.
And I want to be clear right away so there's no confusion. It's not because I think the game is bad. In fact, quite the opposite. I think everything in the game is good. But it's also extraordinarily boring and underwhelming. I struggle to stay awake playing it. It's like the cure for insomnia for me. I would rather be listening to my college professor lecture me on the Krebs cycle through Vimeo videos as homework. It would keep me more stimulated than playing through the main quest line in Starfield. And it's not like they've done anything wrong. The thing is, I went into this expecting, on this outrageous amount of hopium, that this would truly be an ambitious Bethesda title that would finally evolve their formula and push it forward.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not what it is. This is the standard Bethesda experience that many of you probably know and love, but set in space. No more, no less. And you'll see that sentiment echoed across pretty much every single player out there. That's like the only universally agreed upon thing.
That is 100%, like we talked about that yesterday, that's 100% accurate. Everybody expected this to take Bethesda games to the next level. And they just kind of, it was a step up, but it wasn't the next generation of their games. It was just more Bethesda games. That's all.
When it comes to this game. This is a very divisive game, but you'll find one common thread, that everyone agrees that if you like the standard Bethesda formula, you'll probably like Starfield, and I completely agree. This is the standard Bethesda formula. And for me personally, I'm just exhausted with it, not because...
What are your thoughts on the Skyrim story? Terrible. Absolutely awful.
Of oversaturation. It's not like they keep constantly feeding Bethesda titles to you, like shoving them down your throat every year like Call of Duty or anything. And that's probably why for a lot of people this game is so comfy and is so exciting to them, because it finally scratches that Bethesda itch that they've had since the last title. But for me, that itch only gets scratched if the game is an improvement or something bigger. Like, I wouldn't want to just keep playing the same game with a different skin. I loved the Bethesda formula a decade ago, and this feels like it's stuck in the past. This feels like it's still playing with fidget spinners right now. It just... With all of the hype and all of the claims that they were making about this game pre-release, I would have expected so much more than just being complacent with the exact same Bethesda experience that you're used to with a different coat of paint. Now, it's a beautiful coat of paint. I actually love all of the main locations that I've visited so far, and it's not like there's no new mechanics or anything. Like, the ship customization is super in-depth and really cool. The ship combat I wasn't a huge fan of, but it's not bad by any means. Like, I think it's a good implementation. I would have liked it to be a little more fleshed out, but overall, like, it's still fine and it's super functional. There's a couple other things as well, but I don't know if I can mention them because that'd be spoilery, and I'm not trying to just dump spoilers on you like a jump scare. But there are new things they added. But none of those new things are all that new per se. They're new to the Bethesda formula, but they're very familiar with many things you've seen in many other titles over the last decade. That doesn't make them bad. Again, I don't think there's actually anything bad in the game, aside from the main quest storyline. The writing in the main quest line is lazier than my summer book reports in high school.
Yes. I don't know about his summer books, but yes.
Like, it is kind of laughable at points. They really phone that in. It is some formulaic silliness. I don't want to get too deep on it, but that was the only thing that I think is like actually weak. Everything else is fine and good in certain cases. But somehow the game still manages to keep a neutral expression on my face. It doesn't make me smile. It doesn't make me giggle, spit up, and kick my feet in my chair or anything. Like, I don't get excited by the game because I feel like I've already played this so many times with Bethesda. Like, for example, the engine that this runs on hasn't changed in a long, long time. So during the main quest line, especially, there's almost no facial animations for any of the NPCs. So it takes all of the emotional investment and immersion right out of it. Because you'll be getting great voice acting from all of these characters, but then you're looking at the character, you're having this goddamn staring contest where they're just staring a hole through your soul, and there's nothing on their face. Even when it's like an emotional beat, there's nothing. So it makes everything so fucking stiff. It's like all you can do is communicate with mannequins like it's I Am Legend. Like, if you're lucky, the extent of the expressions you'll experience in the Starfield main quest line is this. And you are beyond fortunate if you even get that much. Because most of the time, and this is even outside of the main quest line, NPCs will give you the meanest stink eye this side of the galaxy's ever seen. If you talk to them or if you walk by them, they'll hit you with this. Like, they're just constantly concerned, like keeping a close eye on you. Like, it's like they're all fucking spies or something. Everyone's giving you the reverse Kubrick stare, and they all look like absolute psychopaths. I don't know if that's like a bug or what, but that is a very common expression that you're going to get in your playthrough, no doubt. Now, one thing that they are absolutely right about when it comes to the claims they made about this game is the bugs being much lesser than you're used to. There was a lot of hype around this being the least buggy Bethesda title. And so far, in my playthrough, I've only experienced a handful of bugs, and none of them are game-breaking. Like, there's no big bugs that I've seen on my playthrough, or even in any of the other playthroughs I've been watching. So this game really is pretty light on Bethesda jankiness, which is great. That's really surprising, because especially given the scope of the game, I would have thought this would be by far their glitchiest one. But no, they put WD-40 on those squeaky wheels, and they lubricated it. They massaged it. There is not a whole lot of bugs here. So big W on that. And speaking of W's, there is...
So far, what he said has been very accurate. Honestly, those first 7 minutes that he's been saying, pretty accurate. The only thing... Hi. 3? Okay, that's fine. The only thing that's what was I saying? Sorry. Yeah, the only thing that in this first 7 minutes, the only thing that was weird is he took the 12 hours like clickbait and he like took that to heart. The game doesn't change in 12 hours. What you experience in the first 6 hours is the game. What you experience in the first 3 hours is the game. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you find out more stories and you find out more planets and you find out how to ship build and you find out how to build outposts and you find out like the nuances, but like that's not going to push you over to sell the game to you, right? Like the first 6 hours, if you don't enjoy the game, the first 3 hours, if you don't enjoy the game, you are not going to enjoy the game, and that's it.
There's some good writing outside of the main quest line. There's a ton of different things you can do. It's hard to talk about a lot of this without getting into spoilers, but there's a lot of different like factions and a lot of different side quest lines that are pretty deep and intricate. I haven't done a ton of them. I've only done a handful of side quests, but there are some that are far more interesting than the main quest line, significantly more interesting and better executed. Though I have seen a couple of side quest lines that a couple of friends of mine were streaming, and in one of them it felt really important. Like they exposed a big web of corruption, and there was a prominent figure that got outed for some bad shit, and once they completed the side quest, nothing changed. That character is still in the exact same position, so that whole side quest, even though you completed it, didn't really have an effect, which takes all of the wind out of the sails and makes the journey feel kind of worthless if nothing actually changes in the game. I don't know if that was a bug, or maybe they weren't done, but it seemed like they were, and they seemed to think that they were. So I don't know if that's commonplace or if that was like some kind of rare exception. But
yeah, I've done a lot of side stuff, and so far, not much of it has done anything to the game, if any of it. There's stuff along the main story that changes the game. There's stuff along the main sub-faction quests that change the game. But there's nothing in terms of sides that changes the game. I'm hoping that quest line I did yesterday, the one with the President Franklin Roosevelt and Genghis Khan, I'm hoping that does something. Like, I hope the clone that I took and I saved goes on to do great things, and like maybe a planet populates somewhere. but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
For the most part, the side quests are significantly more interesting than the main one. Now, let's get to some things that I think people have been misled by. And by far the biggest one, and the one that Starfield really put a lot of eggs in the basket of, is exploration. The go to any planet, explore. You can explore for thousands of hours. There's 1,000 planets to explore, and they're all fucking amazing. You're gonna lose yourself in here. You're gonna jack into the Starfield world, and you never want to go back to cringe old Earth. The real world is, can't even compete with what Starfield's got. And man, that couldn't be more wrong. That is so far from the truth, it makes me want to spit. I tried to do the exploring. I really did. But when you explore a planet, like let's say you go to one of the main planets, and instead of going to the main city, you land somewhere else on the planet. My thought was, with everything they said, you could land on that side of the planet and then run all the way to the main city if you wanted to. And I tried to test this because I thought it was a cool idea. For example, I had contraband on my ship. And when you're going to one of these planets, that is a central one, really, they will scan your ship, and if you have contraband, they either arrest you or you become an outlaw and they'll try and hunt you down and all that, and then you can't land at the main city. So I decided to try the outlaw thing. I ran away, and then I landed on the planet outside of the main city where you're allowed to do that with contraband. And I thought it would be really cool if I ran from there to the main city so I could keep my contraband, keep my ship parked.
It's a good idea, actually, but let me guess. Does not work.
Outside and still continue the main quest while keeping the contraband and never going to jail. So I started running, and I ran for about 15 minutes. And it turns out you can't run from that to the main city or anything like that on any planet, apparently.
That sucks.
There's a lot of invisible walls, if you can believe that, which is very disappointing to hear. And during my entire journey, spent going across this planet, it was entirely fucking empty.
There's probably a few planets you can do this on. Maybe Aquila, maybe Mars. I don't think it'll work in New Atlantis, Jemison. Neon, definitely not. It's not going to be able to do it on Neon. There's no way.
Just rocks, flat ground, and a couple of space animals. And by couple, I mean one space animal type per planet from everything I've seen. And they just kind of stack them occasionally in clusters so it feels like it's somewhat alive. And that's it. There's a couple of places you can visit outside there, such as like a cave that has a little bit more to it, or like a very small little mining colony on that planet in particular where there's like 5 people and a robot. And that's it. There's nothing to explore.
You can do it, but you have to use console commands to remove the markers and land pixel perfect on the boundary of the city. That's ridiculous.
Nothing at all to explore from what I've seen. Unless you just really love sitting in an empty, open world with nothing to do.
So this is a common misconception. This is an example of him not doing enough exploration, which is fine, but there actually is quite a decent bit of wildlife, but there isn't, like, you're not going to go to a planet and see 25 different types of species. You're not going to see that. You're going to see at most 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe. If you're lucky, you'll see 5. So there definitely isn't just one. One on some planets, but on most planets, it's about 3 with a max of 5. I've never seen more than 5. I've never, ever seen more than 5 different types of species. Well, maybe, actually. I think I have. You know what? I think I have. Because depending on which side of the planet you go on, you'll have, like, the, manta rays here, and then on the other side, you'll have, like, the squids, and then you'll have the floating fish, or you'll have the little fucking pieces of shit. They look like little shit stains flying in the air. And then on the ground, you'll have, like, the little spiders that are getting killed by the big raptors or whatever. I mean, I guess there actually is a decent bit of wildlife. When you actually look at it and you really think about how much wildlife there is a decent bit.
Now, there was a moment during this long, empty voyage here through the void where a spaceship flew in, and it was like a random event. Some outlaws coming in. They parked, and I snuck aboard their ship and I killed all of them. And the game has a cool mechanic where you can steal ships, which I think is great. And I decided to try and unleash a bit of a galaxy brain gamer maneuver. I still had all my contraband on the ship that I parked way back on that planet. And now I just stole this completely fresh outlaw ship. So I thought, maybe I can keep my ship parked over there and I take this ship to the main city because there's no contraband here, so if they scan it, it'll be clean and I should be able to land there. I thought this would be a really creative way of getting around the scan and the contraband while being able to keep it without ever being arrested or anything. But it turns out you can't do that. So I stole the ship, and what it did is it put the contraband from my main ship onto this new stolen ship. And thus the contraband was immediately alerted to the space hall monitors, the police force, and they came and they blew me up.
Space hall
so
monitors.
So it just feels like, at least so far in my limited playtime with it, of course, since apparently 12 hours is the bare minimum before things really open up, that there's not as much freedom in this game as I was led to believe there would be, especially with the exploration. There really isn't anything overly ambitious about this game. Procedurally generated, soulless, empty worlds to explore.
So, definitely nothing too ambitious, but their procedurally generated world is very good. They did a very good job at that. It almost feels like it's not procedural. I will commend them on that. Whoever worked with that tool to try to make it work and mesh well with their POIs, they did a very good job at that. I will 100% give them that. They did a very, very, very good job at that. Really? Yeah, absolutely. When you land on a planet, you don't feel like it's procedural. You don't feel like it's procedural at all. You feel like it's handmade. They did a great job. Like, yeah, you can feel parts of it being procedural because you know that it's procedural in the back of your brain. But if someone didn't tell you, you'd be like, okay, yeah, I could have handmade that. That could have been handmade. Or maybe procedural. Whoever worked on that tool, whoever did that and was in charge of the procedural generation did a fantastic job. They did a very, very good job. Like, you'd think it's UE5. Guys, God, you guys are just taking things so literally. I'm not talking about the colors of rocks. I'm talking about how the world meshes in with the POIs that are being placed there. It is fantastic. You very rarely experience clipping and issues through. Like, they did a good job meshing POIs and the world that is procedural together. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Planet A is different from Planet B. Yes, they have the same formula because guess what? They're procedural. I'm saying the mesh of it all together was very, very well done.
Explore isn't fun. Like, yeah, there's a ton of planets you can go to, and that's cool, I guess, until you actually go there and realize how tiresome it is and how not fun at all that component of it is, which is a huge selling point of it. It's just disappointing, really. Now, another big thing is this game is kind of like a loading screen simulator. Since exploration is so fucking awful, most of the time you're just going to be fast traveling around this game anyway. So you're constantly going to be going from loading screen.
No Man's Sky better? See, that's an example of what I'm telling you. That compare No Man's Sky to Starfield, and you will know the difference between how good of a job Bethesda did at making that world not seem procedural. You play No Man's Sky, you will see procedural. You play Starfield, and they're both procedural, by the way, but you will see that they worked really hard. Is what I'm giving credit to where it's due. They did a fucking fantastic job making procedurally generated worlds not feel procedural. If you go to No Man's Sky and you go jump planet to planet, you will know how procedural generation done poorly is. Now, I'm not saying the game's bad. I like No Man's Sky. I've played it. It's fun, sure. But you will notice the very differences of quality there. So don't fucking start shitting down my throat really quick. Okay, just take a peek at the two, and then you'll understand what I mean. Maybe they should have procedurally generated the main story. Probably. Yeah, they probably should have fucking chat GPT that shit real quick. Probably would have been a better main story for sure.
It's a loading screen. And on PC that's fine because it's quick, but it's just constant loading screen simulator anytime you're doing anything because you don't really have any reason to explore or actually run there. There's just not a lot of interesting things to do along the way, so why not fast travel? So there's a lot of that. And another bafflingly odd decision is there's no real...
I'm not defending Starfield, nor am I attacking it. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I think is good and what I think is bad. That's it. That's all. I'm not saying the game is amazing or the game is terrible. I'm just picking parts of the game and saying which parts I think they could have done better and which parts they did a very good job at. For example, the main story. The first half of the main story and all of the temples that give you all 24 powers or 32 powers or however many you have, absolute dog shit. Like, what? They weren't even trying. They literally didn't even try. Right? That part they fucked up royally, which is weird because it's the most important part of the game. I don't understand. So it seems like they spent a lot of time elsewhere. But yeah, there's some good and some bad. I mean, overall, the game is good. Overall, Starfield is a great game. But they definitely have a lot of flaws. But they also have a lot of things that they did very, very well. The temple's cool the first time, though. True. And then you get a mod to delete all the other times you have to do it.
Map. So if you go somewhere in the game, you land on a planet, land in a city, wherever, if you try and bring up a map, there isn't one. And I don't get why. It's super easy to get lost because of that. When it was
This is a weird topic that people are back and forth on. Should there be a map? Some people say yes, some people say no. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, on one hand, it's cool to have to, like, learn and figure out the world and know where the shops are and whatever. But on the other hand, just let me fucking see where I'm going. Like, I don't know where I land or where I lie on the map topic. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. There's times where I would love it, and then there's times where, like, it's kind of cool and feels immersive that there isn't a map. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know which way to lean there. I'm kind of like in the middle where I don't know. I think they probably should have done a map, at least in cities, at the very least. That's probably where I would lean. Like, it's weird to have to, like, figure out that there's a shop behind this big ass building that you'd never know, like, because it's a tiny alleyway to get through there. Like, I would have liked a map. On some cities they do label stuff nicely where you can, like, New Atlantis, you can get around New Atlantis kind of easily. But I don't know. Just add a fucking map, man. Just add one.
so easily rectifiable. Just put a fucking map. Like, it's 2023 and now we took away the map? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what's there is bad. Like, it's not even replacing a map. It's just there is none. What you can do is pull up your scanner and do, like, 360 degrees in circles to try and locate the interesting point you want to go to. Like, if you want to go to the industrial district of a place, you can pull up your scanner and then look around with your character and then see over there, and then you can run at it. But there's no actual map. So it gets very confusing. Like, pretty often, actually, until you really start to become...
Just tell us you watched this. No, man. Why would I waste my time watching a 20-minute video beforehand to then watch it again and take longer because now I'm talking about it? That's like a whole hour of my fucking time. I would not do that. My time is too valuable being spent doing nothing, okay? I would rather do nothing than pre-watch a video.
Super familiar with the locations. And another decision that's just, I don't understand why they wouldn't even think to include it, is there's no vehicles to explore the empty worlds. Like, if there was vehicles or a faster way of traversing them, I guess it could be a little more interesting, because then at least it wouldn't be a massive time investment of...
I can agree with that. Like, the fact that they have this crazy starship building system, and you could slap on all these different parts. Like, why couldn't you slap on a little bay that holds a little rover for you to then, when you land on a planet, the rover comes out and you jump into it? Because like a lot of these POIs are like very far away, and we got to run for what feels like 5 minutes. It's not actually 5 minutes away, but it feels like it's 5 minutes when you're running in a fucking straight line, right? They definitely should have at least thought of something. So what I do when I land on a planet and I want to explore it is I land on the planet and I just fucking stim. I just pop stims and I'm running super fast. But like, that's kind of a stupid way to get around. Like, I don't know.
Doing nothing. But there's no like Mako or anything. There's no vehicle to get you around in any kind of timely fashion.
Agree, but maybe it's because of render issues. So you'd think it's because of render issues, but like I said, I land on a planet and I pop a stim and I run fucking fast. Like, I run fucking fast. If you were to make a vehicle that runs the same speed as me popping all of my stims, that would be fine. And it would feel kind of cool. So I don't think there's an issue with rendering, with going too quickly, because I've already done it. I've done that before. I've juiced myself up when I land, and I fucking fly around the planet really quickly. I could get around fast, right? So, I don't see why there's definitely not a render issue. They just didn't want to put in the work to add vehicles. That's pretty much it, honestly. Too much work.
So it just makes it even more monotonous. At least there's not so far, and I haven't seen one from any of the footage I've watched from this, from any of.
You'd also hit the invisible wall way too fast. True. Actually, that probably makes more sense. Because the map is in tiles, and you'll eventually hit the border of that tile. If you had a vehicle, you could hit the border too quickly. That's a good point, actually. That's probably why. Yeah. Yeah. This dude didn't pick up a single rock. Well, the thing is, you don't really need to. At first, when you start off in the game, you do need rocks. You do need to pick up ores and stuff. But you very quickly realize you get a little bit of credits, don't need that anymore. You build an outpost, definitely don't need that anymore. So you're only actually mining minerals maybe for the first time playing the game because you think you need to, and then you realize you could just buy everything. Just buy them. Like, I don't know why they added a vendor to buy minerals, because it completely defeats the purpose of going to a planet and finding titanium. It's fucking stupid. They fucked up that part of the game. That part of the game, the loop of that is awful. You just buy rocks instead of mine rocks. So there's no point of actually gathering things. The only thing that's worth it to gather, I'd say, is plants, maybe. But you could still buy like the stuff that you get from plants, fibers, sealant, adhesive, all that stuff. It's, I don't know. They kind of fucked that part up. They didn't think that part through. They thought about it from a perspective of somebody playing an hour a week, in which case, okay, maybe I guess that's probably fine. But when you put in like hours a day, you'll very quickly realize that mining and gathering is useless. I don't know. It's fucking weird. I don't know.
The streamers, I guess it's possible that there is later, maybe. I don't really know, but even still, it is a huge oversight not to at least have something to make exploring a little more interesting and a little less slow.
Encumbrance is a bad mechanic. I wish they would design away from it. I don't mind it. They did encumbrance very well in this game. In comparison to all of their other games, they actually did a very good job nailing encumbrance. I like it. It keeps the game a little bit more grounded and balanced, and you have some skills and you have some stats to boost your carry capacity. I actually like it. I think it's in a pretty good spot. Could they give some wiggle room and maybe give a little bit more? Sure. But at least when you're full, you're not actually full. You pop some drugs, you run really fast, you throw your stuff in the cargo hold, and you fuck off. I actually don't mind. I think the game needs to have some sort of encumbrance system, because if it didn't, the game would feel even more shallow. You're basically making the game feel more boring at that point, because you're never, ever, 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 ever gonna stop. You'll just keep going, keep going, keep going. You'll explore the whole game way too quickly. You'll never have to go back to town. You know, you'll spend 100 hours running around collecting. Your whole inventory is full. Like, you'll just never have to go back to town, ever. You'll never need to, because you will be the town. You are all of the towns. So there needs to be encumbrance, and it does need to be a thing. And I think this is the best job Bethesda's done with encumbrance. Could they do a little more wiggle room and give you a little bit more weight? Sure. But I think it's in a good place.
At least I feel like it's an oversight not to have something like that, because all it can do is improve the game by making it a little more fun to just get from point A to point B. But yeah, another thing, the combat is better in this game than most Bethesda games in terms of like how fluid and smooth the shooting itself is. Like, the gameplay is smoother, for sure. And the jetpack, I'm not using the jetpack in my playthrough. I'm doing a fucking caveman build, so mainly melee. The jetpack is cool from everything I've seen, and it has some nice perks that can make things very interesting. So I do think Bethesda has polished off their shooting in particular here, so the combat does feel a bit more fluid, thanks to making it a less janky game than, you know, what we're used to from Bethesda. But that being said, it's still
I kind of want to do melee combat, because I know it's so bad. I don't even have to do it to know it's bad. I've played the game enough to see how many melee weapons they give you, and it's a total of like 5. That's it. They give you like 5 melee weapons, and they expect you to go have fun in a melee build. Fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Fucking terrible. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Fuck, it's
exactly what we're used to with Bethesda when it comes to its gameplay loop. It's exactly the fucking same. The combat here is literally just Fallout combat, but without VATS. And it, like I said, it is smoother, but it's still just the same goddamn thing. There's not a new crazy amount of depth. There's not a new crazy amount of things that you can do in combat here that we haven't already been doing in Bethesda games for over a decade now. Like, it's
Fallout with superpowers. That's it. You throw some grenades, you throw some mines, you have an explosive fucking RPG, you have a grenade launcher, you have a machine gun, and then you do magic. It's a mix of Fallout and Skyrim, kind of, actually. It's kind of in the middle. It's like Fallout with magic. It's both games, which is interesting, actually. That is the best part, and that's what carries this game, in my opinion, is it actually feels good to play and shoot things and blow things up, fucking hit some headies, you know, cast some fucking Fusrodas and shit. Like, that's the best part of the gameplay loop, I think. VATS would have been cool. I don't like VATS very much, but people love it. It's got a special place in their heart. Sorry, it would have been cool if they had their own space VATS. I mean, they have space VATS literally in space, but they don't have VATS on the ground.
They've polished off what they've had for 10 years instead of building what they had for 10 years. Instead of adding cool shit on top of their Bethesda combat formula, they're more than fine to just have the exact same combat, but make it play a little bit better. And again, for a lot of people, that's fine. There's a lot of people out there that don't want any kind of, like, big changes to the combat in Bethesda games or new...
I'm curious, what could they even do to change the combat? There's not much they could do, right? Where they would need to innovate is just boss mobs. They do a fine job with the grunt work. The grunt work's fine. Killing the little shitters, that's fine. That feels fun. Okay. Fighting like the bosses, they haven't quite figured that out. They haven't quite figured out how to do bosses very well. I don't think you guys realize they can't do that much, right? Because the whole game you're running around, even if you're Giga Strong, you're one-shotting the grunts. So like you can make them move and be like slippery, sure, but then you're just going to hit them in the chest and then they're going to get staggered and then you're going to pop them in the brain, right? Like no matter what, the grunts is just 2 taps or 1 taps. If you're not 2 tapping or 1 tapping the grunts, you're probably just using the wrong gun, right? Or you're doing something wrong. So I think the only thing they need to work on is mixing in grunts with elites, and they have elites, but they're terrible. The elites are just grunts with more health. If they made leave the grunts the same, they're fine. They're there to just die. They're there for you to have fun in one shot. But then they just need to make the elites a little bit more interesting, you know? Like I want to, like when a spacer melee elite is charging me, like I want to see it like run up with like a plasma shield or something, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't do what I normally do. Maybe I should use my grav ability. Maybe I should push him. Maybe I should teleport. Maybe I should have a clone to distract him. Maybe I should use a certain EMP grenade to break his plasma shield. Like stuff like that is what they need. They need to just have an interesting way to take down elites rather than shoot them in the head 100 times. That's what they're missing. That's it. That's literally all they're missing. I don't know why they couldn't do that. But I don't know.
New additions, they're totally fine if they can just deliver the exact same combat, but without the jankiness. And for those people, Starfield's going to feel great, because like I said, this is definitely the smoothest gunplay I think Bethesda has had so far. But I would just think, after all of this time, they'd want to do more than that. Like, it's just underwhelming. Like I said, everything in Starfield I think is good. Like, everything is good. There's nothing in here I think is, like, actually shit. There are definitely things I think are a bit weak, but nothing I would actually say is truly bad or awful. It's just this whole package is just so disappointing, because I'm just tired of playing the exact same Bethesda game without anything really changing about it. Even
the UI is bad. The UI is bad. That's true. He should have brought up how bad the UI is.
bugs that were present 10 years ago are still present in Starfield. Of course, they're not game-breaking, like they're very minor things, and for a lot of people the bugs add charm, but come on.
He doesn't want to say it's mid, it's hard, because that's not true. It's better than mid, but it's not amazing. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not even a fucking 9 out of 10. It's barely an 8 if you're a nobody. If you're a Bethesda fan, it definitely is an 8 for sure, probably a 9. But if you don't care, you're a nobody in the space, you don't know what Bethesda is, then yeah, it's like a fucking 7 at most, maybe 7.5. But it doesn't really matter though, right? Because like we're all gonna have different opinions here. Some people that don't know this game or don't know Bethesda might actually think it's fucking a 10. Fuck it, let them think it's a 10. That's cool. If they're having that much fun with it, that's fucking awesome. More power to them, right? But yeah, anyone that says it's under a 5 or a 5, that's fucking bonkers, bro. That to me is bonkers. Obviously, you can have that opinion, I guess, right? But that's really bad. You know, like a 5 is really bad. Like really bad. Like Fallout 76 isn't even a 5. It's like a 6, 5.5 maybe, but 5 is average? No. No. In your head, yes, 5 out of 10 is average. In your head. But in everyone else's head and how reviews work in general, a 5 out of 10 is not average. That's a fucking failure. That is a fail. You have lost. That is awful. That means your game won't open. That's a 5. Listen to that. 5 is a game won't open. Fallout 76, when it came out, was a 5. That game did not open. That game crashed. That game barely worked. It was a 5, and now it's a 6, right? Maybe a 7. Maybe. Like, average is like a 7. This game, Starfield, is definitely better than average. 100% it is. No one can argue that. Unless, like, you just have a different way of reviewing things, then I guess you can argue that. But if you're going off the generic, normal metric of how things are reviewed and how things are done, 5 is fail. That's a GG. You failed. Go next. 6 is you almost failed. 7, average. 8, better than average. 9, really fucking good game. 10, doesn't exist.
Like, it's been over a decade and you still have the same bugs in this game as you did all the way back then. Like, it's just, it shows a complete lack of drive to do something different. They just want to keep delivering the same Bethesda experience. And again,
I don't think that. I think they really want to innovate and they really want to do more. But I'm be honest, I think they probably pumped this game out pretty fucking fast. To the point where I think they were spreading themselves. If I had to guess, I don't know, this is just a guess, but if I had to guess, they were spreading themselves thin and they needed to make a very difficult decision. And that decision was, do we give this game more years of time, or do we go with our Bethesda formula that works? Obviously, we've made it better. We've made it smoother. And do we just run with that? Probably just run with that, because we're not going to sit in this unknown 2, 3, 4 extra years of dev time, and then by the time the game comes out, GG, you know, we lost our position here. To me, that's what I would guess. I would guess they were in a spot where they really this is the thing, no developer, no person working on a game wants to make a stagnant, non-fucking advanced game. Like, nobody wants to just sit there and make the same game. They don't want to do that. Developers don't want to do that. Now, when you go deeper and everyone that's overlooking the projects and they're trying to, like, understand and trying to make a call, they are sitting there and they're making a call being like, we aren't ready. Like, we have to make a choice here. Like, what is our choice? And they made their choice, and it was this, to make the game a better Bethesda experience. Did they innovate? Nah, not really. Did they really set some crazy advancement in gaming fucking technology? No. That was the decision they made. They made that early on. They absolutely made that early on. But every developer that is working on the game, they would kill for the moment to try to spend years and years and years of time to really innovate and really push their game that they're working on further. But it's not that simple. You can't just do that. You just can't. You just can't. Now, if they were promising innovation and they came out with this, that would be some bullshit. But they honestly didn't promise shit. They didn't promise any innovation. We knew what we were getting. We absolutely knew what we were getting. So it's a good thing they were a little bit more careful with their wording this time. Because Fallout 76, that shit, they fucked up big time. They were saying all sorts of shit. That was like No Man's Sky level of, like, fucking up, right? They were very smart, and they learned from Fallout 76, and they learned how to be a little bit more careful with their wording. And they definitely did not promise to innovate. They promised a new generation of Bethesda games, a new IP. That's what they promised. This is their next IP in Bethesda. I mean, they delivered. They literally delivered exactly what they said. Like, the expectations were massive because of the community, but they absolutely delivered on everything they were saying. They were very careful with their words. They didn't. This is part of the reason why, honestly, we have to be careful working on Project Astrid with splash damage. Like, we have to be very careful, because if we get to the point where we're sharing crazy details and talking about things, bro, this is the same loop is going to happen. You got to be very, very careful with how you choose your words, or else this is what happens. You know, the community goes fucking bonkers because of what, you know, one thing you might have said. Watch Quinn's video. I don't know what it is. What are your Game of the Year nominees? Well, I haven't played all of them, but if I had to guess, Zelda's going to be there. If I had to guess, Spider-Man 2 is going to probably be there. Starfield will definitely be there. Is it going to win? No. Baldur's Gate is 100% going to win. And missing a game. There's a chance... There's a small chance that, like... There's a small chance that, like... Fuck, there's a game coming out, I thought there was one more game... whatever. I swear there was one more game that was coming out that might... D4... I mean, D4 maybe. It might be nominated. But we know for sure, like, the games that are going to be nominated for sure are going to be Baldur's Gate, Starfield, and wait, did Jedi Survivor come out this year? That game kind of owned. Fuck. Forgot about that game. Did it own then? I don't know, dude. This is the best year of gaming we've had in a very long time. This is by far the most packed, fucking loaded year ever. It's great. This was definitely... It's not even over yet, and we still have so many more games coming out. So this is by far the best year. Very long time. I don't think we ever got a year this good. Ever. Like, think about the games. D4, Starfield, Baldur's Gate. CS2 is not coming out, but if it is, great. Fucking, you got the Spider-Man 2 game. You got Hogwarts Legacy that people liked. You got fucking, I think Alan Wake's coming out. You got, Zelda came out, I'm pretty sure. Redfall. No, we're not going to say Redfall. You got, fuck, I literally just named it and I forgot. You got big updates, sure, like the Cyberpunk update, if you want to count that. Assassin's Creed, yeah, all right. Anyway, a lot of fucking games. A lot of games, regardless of what games you like or do not like. Just ignore all that. A lot of fucking games. Big year. Very big year. Someone said search Quinn 69 Starfield. This?
Collect the artifacts.
Find more artifacts.
The way to another artifact. Constellation needs that artifact.
Find an artifact.
Get an artifact, bro.
Collect the artifacts.
God, that's it. They're reacting. Look at how it's coming together.
God damn it, this game, bro. Oh my god. This is my life, dude. This is my life. Okay, Sandcock, yo.
I must confess, the hum of a grav drive makes me feel alive.
What can I do for you? I hope Cora doesn't get too much underfoot.
Oh no. Sam, no.
Yeah, so, I don't know about you,
What would you done without me, dude? Let's go with this thing.
I would have given them an exhaustive series of lectures on aneutronic fusion.
Yeah, just show the bad things. I mean, this is an example of this is content farming, and that's fine. It's awesome. It's hilarious. We've all seen these bugs before. People falling through the ground, people floating. camera angles snapping on people because your character hasn't gotten there yet or your companion hasn't gotten there yet. But this is content right here, you know?
Content in this game is the bugs, dude. Freak on the swim, by the way. Look, I'm just gonna aim and I'm gonna...
Wait, what? Was that actually the recoil?
Freak on the swim, by the way. Look, I'm just gonna aim and I'm gonna...
Holy shit! Wait, there's no way that's the recoil, is it?
Game is the bugs, dude. Freak on the swim, by the way. Look, I'm just gonna aim and I'm gonna...
Wait. What? There's no way. That has to be a bug, right? My Maelstrom does not kick that high. That has to be a bug. I have never seen that one before. How do you replicate that one?
I need to heal.
I would love to have more recoil.
Heal, I need to heal, wait. I healed up. Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! I literally just figured everything out. I know everything now. It's a multiverse. Yo, come back! No, Sarah! Sarah! Oh, she's gone.
Some advice? Don't need to crawl. Okay.
With all of that laid out in front of me, I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us. Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity!
I cannot believe that this is real. I cannot believe it. I refuse to believe this is real. I refuse.
Fucking current day.
Don't trigger. He's like one of the people that he's supposed to be making fun of. This guy. Look at this guy.
Californian shit.
Oh my God, he's so young. Oh, he's just blocking me. So I gotta give him items. I'm just gonna give him an old one. Bro, what the fuck? Dude, do something. You go to my ammo. You fucking. Alright, bang it.
Sarah, good to see you. Who's your friend?
Hopefully Constellation's newest member.
Great voice. Dude, what? You want to go in and like do some crazy shit, you can't because you just fucking get a headshot.
Oh my God, has he ever played a shooter before? This man can't move through a hallway.
I'm fucking trying to go down and dude, jump in there, jump in there, jump in there, you stupid fucking.
Yeah.
Jump in the fucking giant gap. Big fucking gap. Oh my God, bro. How can I not get down there? He's fucking hacking. This guy's fucking hacking, bro. Dude.
Wait, how did he just... Oh, it's got 4 shots. That's cool. My double barrel doesn't have 4 shots.
What the fuck is this bullshit? Shoot me through the fucking wall, man. Oh my God. No, you use too many old midgets. What the fuck is this bullshit? What the fuck is this game, bro? I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I'm trying.
This room was fucking so fucked. It's good to know that this room didn't just happen to me. This room is fucked, I guess, for everybody. This shit, they did not like do the collision or something. Like the collision's fucked in here. I swear something's fucked in this room.
To be positive here, I'm trying to remain positive. But right now, this is looking like, it ain't looking like Starfield. It's looking like fucking midfield, dog.
The content
Like,
farm,
bro,
I love it.
like,
I love
how
it.
many guys, how many units out of the total units we fought were not bugged? There was more bugged units glitching through walls, floating, teleporting, than there was actual fucking units that function normally. That whole like combat part.
The rage in this room was very real. Yeah, I had my experience in that room wasn't quite as bad, but I think have 2 mobs flying in that room. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that room.
This game, the combat in this game, I'm not enjoying it. And then the story in the game, I'm not enjoying it. And the exploration in the game, I'm not enjoying it. Okay, they're just shooting me. Oh.
He's getting shot in his back. He's literally getting shot in his back, dude. Fuck.
Okay. Oh, wow. That was cool, wasn't that? That was badass. Dude. I like the part where they just shot me through the fucking rain and the guy just died.
There was a guy behind him just shooting him in the back. He had no idea what the fuck was going on. I love it.
Hey, you dropped it.
You know, we are just so happy with the new engine. It took us so long to do. Our tech team, they're wizard.
This is a $100 game.
I would rate this game so far at a solid 5 out of 10 so far.
I'm running sauce.
You did not respond when I called to you after you pulled out the artifact. Does that mean Barrett's...
Wait, this bug happens to other people too? Wait, why is it always happening in the same spots? This same thing happened to me. The same thing in the same spot. The same character.
Experience were correct?
Oh, every cutscene.
That's weird. I get bugs like your character floating, or not floating, like your NPC floating, or like running in a weird line or something. Like pathing bugs. I understand that. But this is odd. This is like, I mean, the good thing about this is that I guess it's fixable because it happens to everybody.
It's fucked, man. I am maximum. That's right, baby. That's
Fixing
right.
like pathing and stuff is kind of hard, but
I am trying so hard to enjoy this fucking game. I really am. I was looking forward to this game so much, boys.
So one thing I expected this to happen. I think everyone did, because he went into this mindset. I know he was saying he was really looking forward to this game, and he probably was, but he got a very quick sour taste in his mouth the second he didn't have early access to the game, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. I had early access. A bunch of other people had early access. I think early access is fucking stupid. Okay? It's stupid. On top of that, having early access is even more stupid. Regardless, I won't say no when I get it, but I think it's dumb as fuck. I'll still say yes every time someone gives me it. I'll gladly play a game early, but at the same time, I hate it. I know that makes no sense. But I don't like it. I would love for it to change, but I'm still going to do it. And I'm still going to play early. Am I part of the problem? Probably. Yes. But I just wanted to give you my honest take on that. Anyway, the point is, he definitely got a very sour taste in his mouth before the game even came out, because when I went live that morning, or before I went live that morning, I was actually watching Quinn, because he went live pretty early. He went live at like 8 a.m. and I woke up at like 8:20 or something to get ready to play. No, wait, no, I'm sorry. He went live at like 7 a.m. because I woke up early to play Starfield. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He was really, really upset that he didn't have early access. So he was already going to go into the game hating it, right? When you get denied early access and you're going to go into the game, you're going to find every single reason to fucking hate that game right off the rip. You're going in disappointed. You're going in angry. You're going in upset. So kind of expected this, but this is the buggiest shit I've ever seen, by the way. There's 3 bugs I haven't experienced so far. This guy's gun was it was gone. He had no gun. I have never had my gun disappear. That's 100% not, I don't think that's 100% true. It absolutely is true. It absolutely is true. That is absolutely true. If you're going into a movie and you think the movie's going to be shit, the movie could be amazing, but you're probably going to think it's not that great. If you're going in with a sour taste in your mouth to a movie, to a game, to any event, to, fuck, I don't really want to hang out with these people, but fuck, I'll be nice, whatever. You're just going to have a bad time. You're going to have a bad time. You don't want to do something you don't want to do something if you're upset about it, or if you're disappointed or whatever. It's just going to suck. It's going to ruin your experience. It's 100% how that works. So anyway, he had a sour taste in his mouth going into the game, which leads to more hate. But at the same time, he's getting a lot of bugs. So let's see what more bugs he has.
Maybe this is where they're at, bruh.
Hello.
That's normal. Bro, why does he do no damage? What the fuck is going on? He's healing these guys.
Wait, her.
They aren't paying me enough for this.
Do it. What are you doing? What are you doing? This game is so dog shit, bro. Dude, shoot me! Well, just fucking go, bro. Just fucking.
I haven't actually experienced a lot of that. I've seen mobs fly and stuff, but not as much. Like, this video has more than what I've seen, which is crazy. Why is this game so buggy? Why is his experience so much worse than mine?
Diablo 4 story was better than this shit. You kidding me? Holy shit. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, guys. What the? Let's reload
it. Dude, that is the fucking worst. Oh my god.
What the fuck? I've reloaded fucking 5 times! No.
Yeah, okay, that one's annoying. Fucking just reloading your gun. Reloading your gun. Oh, it's not reloaded? Oh, reloading your gun. Fuck!
What the?
I'll pour one out to the blackest sea for you.
If we play really loud music and just spam a bunch of explosion effects, everyone knows how dog shit the combat is.
It'll be hard. You accidentally hit me. I'm the hero of the tale.
How did this game get the ratings it got? I do not know. I feel so out of touch. D4 is better than Starfield, and D4 is bad. It should not have. This should be labeled as a beta test. How do I refund? No way! Wait, it's not in there anymore. Pending 184. Hey, yo, wait, how do I confirm that? Where do I confirm this? I think I got a refund. Your purchase has been refunded. Yes, dude.
Shit. Oh, man. The journalist reviews are pure dog shit. I think anyone that rated this game 10 out of 10 is a liar. Anything under that, I truly believe they were honest. 10 out of 10, though, I don't give a 10 out of 10 rating to anything. No game is fucking perfect. You're saying that 10 out of 10 is a perfect game. That's not possible. 10 out of 10 should not be the norm of ratings. Should not be. No game's 10 out of 10. None. 0. I think the same about movies. You know? Perfect movie doesn't exist. It's not real. It's fake. Fake news. Don't trust the 10 out of 10 user. Don't trust him. Also, don't trust the 0 out of 10 user. Or shit, don't trust anyone under 5 out of 10, I think, actually. Barbie was 10 out of 10? I haven't seen Barbie. I'm waiting for it to come on Apple TV or whatever the fuck. Well, anyway, that video was fun. I love watching him get mad. I can't believe they let him refund after fucking 10 hours or whatever, or 25 hours or whatever. You think they'll let me refund at 100? Nah, no shot. I'm not refunding this fucking game. No shot. Actually, I didn't even buy it. I didn't literally even buy the game. I can't even refund it if I wanted to. Did you watch Dunkey? I did. That was a really bad video, honestly. I'll say it. Sorry, Dunkey. I like your videos, but that one didn't do it for me. I don't know. Gave me a couple laughs, though, so it was kind of worth it. Oh, he refunded it before the official release date. Oh, that's weird. What did Ko say? Does Ko have video? By the way, I have an Overwatch sponsored stream coming up. That's why I'm stalling. It's coming up in 30 minutes. And I also wanted to watch people's takes on the game because I'm thoroughly enjoying this game. I'm having a great fucking time. I'm at 96.1 hours, and I probably will clock in another, I mean, at least 5 today for sure. So we're definitely going to tick this over to 100 plus. But, yeah. What, is there a video where Ko talked about it, maybe? Holy fuck. Have you played No Man's Sky? I have, yeah. It's not bad. It's quite fun. It hits that bland feeling real fast, though. Real quick. Real quick, you get hit with, like, all right, you know. Ko thoughts. Ko thoughts. Is it a section? Playlists. Ko thoughts Starfield. So there's one from a week ago. I don't want to watch that one. Does he have anything new? He's got a Do Not Rush New Game Plus. That doesn't really count. Does it? He doesn't have a new one. I mean, is it worth watching his early thoughts from a week ago? That's like really, really early. I mean, it's short.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Ko here with an early thoughts video on Starfield. I've now played this game for about 6.5 hours.
Oh, wow. This is early. This is early. Okay, let's see what his 6-hour take is. I'm curious.
And so far, for me, this game is awesome. It is the least buggy Bethesda experience that I have ever experienced.
True.
There are still some bugs,
Yes.
but it is a lot more solid than I'm used to from Bethesda. It is essentially a Fallout framework.
Yes.
That has been updated in many small ways, but still a Bethesda game at heart. You can still feel it being the Bethesda game. And frankly, it is pretty much meeting and exceeding every expectation that I had so far for it. The music so far has been great. The graphics have been pretty dang good.
Yeah.
The performance has been great inside locations. So I'm talking like probably 120 frames on inside locations, like silky smooth. There have been a few locations on the outside that have felt a tiny bit framey, but I think it's just in comparison to the inside areas. The itemization seems cool. There seems to be a rarity system on top of all the different items, on top of a modding system. The armor and everything looks great. The locations have been very unique so far, and I've definitely enjoyed everything I've seen and done just so far. We've done a little bit of light base building, and it seems to work. It seems to work pretty well. We've only been doing harvesting and stuff, though. We haven't really put together like any major outposts or anything, but you can connect outposts.
You can't deny that the game runs like crap. It runs pretty good. It's not great, though, because it's missing NVIDIA's beautiful technology. So if they included NVIDIA, it would run better. But not including NVIDIA, it's not bad, but it's not great. The game runs good. That's my thought. When Todd Howard said get a better PC, sure, okay. But also add, NVIDIA in part of your project and not just AMD, and really optimize the game. And then you could say that, right? You work with both NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, work with all these people, truly put in that work, and then you can say, yes, get a better PC. We did everything we could. Because as much of a Giga Chad answer as Todd had saying get a better PC, they should have done a little bit more. They only needed to do just that much, just a tiny bit more. They just needed some. NVIDIA would have loved to help them, I bet. I bet they would have loved it, right? Just needed a little bit more gas. But yeah.
To ship stuff around and manufacture stuff. So that all seems pretty cool. The procedural stuff we've done so far. I wonder if I'm going to look back on this, because I have to say, we've done like one main procedural dungeon, and it's been really, really cool. Like, really cool. Like, I basically picked a random place to land, and there was this abandoned place nearby, and I went into there and explore it, and there was like a basement to it, and it's like this huge dungeon. So I don't know if this is just really lucky. I mean, obviously there can't be a ton of this, but it's actually been awesome so far, which is very surprising. But yeah, I have to say that
this is a 6-hour take, by the way,
that are watching this, I have entered this game with expectations that I like to say I tempered. You know, I was not expecting a game of the year. I was not expecting an amazing gameplay performance. I was expecting a Bethesda game with a large, big open world and tons of items and
tons of quests,
mechanics to explore and places to explore and all that kind of stuff. And that is what I'm getting so far. As somebody who really enjoyed Fallout 4 and pretty much all other Bethesda games,
I did not like Fallout 4. Sorry.
What they are, that is what I am getting.
It was okay.
This game, with Bethesda being in its best form so far. So is this a perfect game that's bug-free? No. Is it the most bug-free Bethesda game? Yeah, it seems like it so far with my 6.5 hours. And I have to say that at this point, I am thoroughly enjoying my time in it. I was a little bit worried, no question, that I was going to start playing this game and we were going to be talking in this video about how this was not it. But I can thankfully say that I am very much enjoying No Man's Skyrim, and that I think that Skyfield is
No Man's
great,
Skyrim, that's
and
good.
Fallout in Space is really doing it for me. So, yeah, that's kind of
all right. That's a 6-hour take. Okay, I want to know his 100-hour take, because he's got to be close to 100 hours, if not more. I feel like he might even play the game more than maybe he plays a little less. I'm not sure. He plays a lot though, so. I want to know his take now that he's put in tons of time. Because at this point, what I have done is I've explored tons of different planets. I've done so many different angles of quests. I've seen the consequences, if there are any at all, to quests and decisions. I've used every gun in the game. I have not used melee weapons because there's only like 3. Fucking trash. Watch the New Game Plus one. This one.
Hi everybody.
Hey there.
Go here with a
Baldur's
quick
Gate shirt
explanation on New Game Plus and why you should not rush it in Starfield. I did make another video right after I did this for the first time, but I had not really collected my thoughts on it and seen all the different variables. So we're going to spoiler free do this right now. So there's one place for you to check this out. So here we go. Starfield is basically 2 different games in one package. There is the sandbox Starfield, which is what you're familiar with from Bethesda games in the past. It is a relatively interesting main story, but then tons of
he
side
couldn't
quests,
say it.
Lots of big world.
I respect him so much for not saying it's bad. He knows it's not good, but he doesn't want to say it's bad. That is a very good thing. Very, very smart way of approaching that. I'll be honest. I'll say the story's bad, but the way he approaches it is much better. That gives him a chance to work with Bethesda again. Me saying I don't like the main story, I don't think it's great, I think it's trash, is not a great way to work with them again. But I just don't want to lie, you know? It gets better after the first half, if that means anything.
Explore many off the beaten path things to do. There's ship building, there's outpost building, there's all these sandbox things. And that is the sandbox version of Starfield. Then, after you beat the game for the first time,
he has talked shit about it through his playthrough. Oh, so he slipped. Okay, he slipped. I mean, you play the game enough, yeah, that's fair. He slipped. You definitely don't want to do that. If you're a streamer, you definitely don't want to say anything's bad or trash or terrible and use like such harsh words, or else you're burning bridges. I have definitely done that before. But like, dude, we're fucking gamers, bro. Like, let's just Just throw out words. Who cares? They're just words. You know? All good. Here we go.
There is the New Game Plus version of Starfield. That is a different style of game. That is more akin to a roguelite. You get to the end, it erases a large chunk of your data, you beat it again, only a few things then move over, you beat it again, only a few things then move over, and every time you beat it, you lose a big chunk of your character. So what we have is Starfield is basically 2 games in one. It is your big classic sandbox Bethesda game, and then it is this new Game Plus mechanic that essentially deletes that sandbox game every time you participate in a New Game Plus. And for the record, you can New Game Plus this game hundreds of times. There are benefits to continually New Game Plus the game. It's not just a New Game Plus. There's New Game Plus 2, 3, 4, 5. And not only do your skills and powers, which continue to rank up if you continue to get them, transfer over, but there's also some other little things that do as well. There's also some RNG stuff that happens in different New Game Pluses. So the game is clearly designed to have people participate in New Game Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There was even somebody who linked us something that happened in New Game Plus 16 on his playthrough. So that is its own thing. But it's very important to mention, every time you New Game Plus, that sandbox game is deleted. It's gone. So all the stuff that you did in the sandbox side when you New Game Plus is gone.
Anyone that's playing this game and is curious what New Game Plus is about, and they're playing it and they're playing their game, they're going to see this video and be like, what the fuck am I doing?
When you New Game Plus. And that's why I recommend to you, your first playthrough, play this as a sandbox. Take your time in your first run. Do all the faction quests.
What is he referencing? Sandbox side? I don't entirely know. I feel like I see what he's saying. He's saying just play the fucking game, because the game doesn't change when you New Game Plus. That's the honest answer. The game does not change when you New Game Plus. You get a couple bullshit dialogue options. Cool. That's it. But I don't think he's done New Game Plus multiple times or whatever. Maybe he's done it once, whatever. But anyway, not much changes. You just get new lines. That's it. You could say, hey, I'm this person. You're going to do this because I know what you're going to do because I've been here before. Pretty much, I think he's just trying to tell people not to rush to the finishing of the game because it doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. That's it. That's literally it.
Do your ship building. Do your outpost networks and outpost building. If you really do want to power up your character before you experience your big sandbox playthrough, take the main story all the way up to the end, but don't New Game Plus. Because then you can go back and do your big sandbox playthrough with everything you've been collecting and all the money you've made and all that kind of stuff. When you are done with your sandbox playthrough, go back to the New Game Plus part, New Game Plus your game, and at that...
Yeah, that's definitely the best way of doing it. The best way of doing it is if you want to beat the main story, sure, but when you're done with the main story, don't necessarily jump through the loop to go do it again, because it's a waste of time. But him saying there's 2 games in one, that's a little false advertising, I'd say. I don't like how he started the video saying that, because that's not true. There's absolutely not 2 games in one. Unless you consider different dialogue options sometimes being a second game. If you consider having additional dialogue options being a second game, then sure, I guess there's 2 games in one. But I don't know if I'm just misunderstanding the video or what, but there's 2 game mechanics I think would have been a better way of saying it. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm just misunderstanding what he meant by 2 games in one.
At that point, you're playing the new roguelite version. And then you can keep getting your powers stronger and your character stronger, and you can go through the different iterations of New Game Plus. And since you've already done all that sandbox stuff, you'll have not missed out on anything. So again, just to reiterate, my recommendation to you is take your first playthrough slow. Have a standard Bethesda sandbox experience. Do everything you want to do and just enjoy the hell out of it. And when you're done with that, then you New Game Plus and you check out this other side of the game, which is not really sandboxy. It's more of this kind of linear progression through multiple different iterations of the game. So anyway, that is my advice to you.
I think he's trying to say, I think why this video is hard to interpret is because he's trying to say it without spoiling. You kind of need to spoil a little bit, or else it's not, like, people won't fully get it, I'll be honest. But yeah. 2 experiences would have been better. Yeah, there is 2 different experiences. Yeah, fair. But the simple reason New Game Plus exists is they were trying to fix or change the way Bethesda games have been played, and this is how Bethesda games are normally played. You make a character, you go through the game up until you're bored, and then you delete your character, or you fucking whatever, doesn't matter, you just ignore it, and then you come back years later and you make another character, and then you make another character. Now they're giving you sort of a way to continue your one character and constantly expand and see every part of the game within one character. Because usually what you would do is you'd experience a Bethesda game, every part of it, through multiple characters. You'd usually have your Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, rogue fucking assassin archer thing, and then you'd be like, okay, now I'm going to make a new character, but this one's going to be a mage that's going to go to the Mages Guild and do this quest line and maybe mix in main quest because I get shouts and blah, blah, blah. So that's how Bethesda games are usually done. You pick a character, you have a story, you have a build, you experience it that way. What New Game Plus does is just wraps it all in one nice package where you can do that on one character over and over and over and over and over again. So you don't need to keep making a character. And that's it. That's really it. Doesn't making your character stronger no matter what, since every enemy is kind of super weak? Heh. Is it super obvious when New Game Plus is available? Yes. Yes, it is very obvious when New Game Plus is available. It will be blaring, and it'll be screaming at you, saying like, yes, this is it. You will know. Trust me, you will know. So you won't have to like worry about like, oops, I fell into a New Game Plus. Trust me, you'll know. Why'd you beat it 10 times before playing the sandbox? For fun. I don't know. I just wanted to do it. I don't know. No real reason. Honestly, I don't have a reason for you. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to just for fun, see what happens, see if I get cool stuff, see what my suit looks like, and then that's it. Like, I don't know. It was fun to do. I got good XP for doing it. It was quite nice. I was leveling. I was getting like, it felt like I was getting like 3 to 5 levels an hour. That felt pretty good. It felt authentic. It felt like an authentic way of getting experience rather than like doing some like cheese strat. Like, I mean, I guess that could be a cheese strat in itself, but I don't know. I just had fun doing it, I guess. The main reason I did it is because I was just enjoying it. I had a good time. Yeah.